Hi, it's time for Street Talk, your voice and your views on the issues in the news. The Grim Reaper seems to have taken on the form of a cat, at least in one nursing home in Rhode Island in the USA. In 25 confirmed cases, Oscar has curled up on the bed of a resident who died shortly afterwards. The 2-year-old cat was adopted as a kitten, and after about 6 months, the staff noticed that Oscar was making his own rounds at the nursing home. He'd sniff and observe patients and then sit beside certain people who would wind up dying a few hours later. Many family members were thankful for the early warning, which gave them a chance to say their final goodbyes. The scientists are unsure whether there is a particular scent Oscar is picking up or if it's just an inexplicable phenomenon. Well, Lorraine in the UK has a rational explanation for Oscar's interesting behavior. I don't believe all animals can sense human death, but cats, from my experience, smell the chemicals and the hormonal changes in humans. Also, cats don't like restless people, and a person usually lays quietly when they are dying. Mohammed from the state of Kerala in South India says that people will try to create a divine link even when it doesn't exist. The religious believers try to see something uncanny even in animal behaviors and then interpret it as evidence of God's gift to a particular animal or human being. From Syria, Annie shares her own interesting animal tale. I knew a camel in the Algerian desert who was extremely brutal with his rider, until one day the latter became ill. During the illness, the camel was extremely cautious and gentle with his rider. As soon as the rider's health improved, the camel became his old self. Now, in the elegant setting of arts and theatre in Milan in Italy, many people are held prisoner to the world of fashion. But who would have thought that their fashion was held by the world of prisoners? The inmates at San Vittore prison were taught tailoring skills by a local Milan-based cooperative which aims to help women behind bars. The group has operated for around 15 years in the city's jails, and the prisoners have already launched a line of t-shirts under the brand Jail Cats, which they've showcased to fellow inmates and prison guards. They've even managed to sell some of their clothing line on the outside. Many of the women are hoping to have their own label once they get out of jail. Gil in Canada says his own experience behind bars wasn't quite as glamorous. That's not my idea of prison. I have worked in one and been an inmate in one. I think in the West, it's far too soft. Paul in Bahrain poses a rather simple question. Why would anyone object to the inmates developing their own label when it could turn them from crime to honest work? And Hala in Beirut takes a far more forgiving approach. If they are putting out a quality product, then there's no harm in what they are doing. Everyone should be given a second chance. Now, I know a lot of people who love horse riding. It's a passion for them. But even they might think twice when it comes to the world's largest and smallest horses. For the first time ever, Radar, the world's tallest living horse, standing at 6 feet 6 inches, met Thumbelina, the world's smallest living horse, at a mere 17.5 inches. This photo will appear in the Guinness World Records book at 2008 edition. In science fiction movies, lasers are used to kill people. In the real world, they have far more innocuous uses, from reading CDs and DVDs to eye surgery. So it's interesting to see some additional uses that Jason Latimer has found, as demonstrated by his magic routine. All well and good until you have a power cut. That's it until next time. Do keep sending in your questions and comments and point us to anything interesting or amusing for Street Talk. Remember, what you see here isn't necessarily the view of Al Jazeera, and some of the content's been edited but for time and space reasons only. And that's the talk on the street.